The Immortal John Hancock here, and today I'm talking about the amazing games that are still being made for old consoles. And in this video, I take a look at 10 demos, aftermarket games, homebrews, whatever you want to call them, games that came out for NES, Genesis, Master System, even Game Gear. Man, I have some sweet things to share with you you might have missed when these came out. So sit back, relax, here we go. First up is Irena Genesis Metal Fury, and this is a cool shooter. And I don't know what the current status of this. I found many of these on itch.io, so some of these haven't been completed or haven't been updated in a while. But you know what? I didn't know about this game, and it plays and looks fantastic. You know, this is a very polished game, so I would classify this as more of an aftermarket game, not really a homebrew, as you know, it's just so well done. I don't know how many people were involved with this. I don't know the current status, but you can download and play the demo now. This is what I'm doing. I'm actually playing this through an Ouya of all things and really enjoying what I'm seeing here. Boss fights, there's even mid-boss fights. Several stages were planned. Pretty challenging shooter. You can speed up. There's different power-ups. You know, really a nice horizontal shooter, and I would like to know the current status of this. You may want to check it out. Next up, Metal Slug. That's right, Metal Slug. This was ported to the Genesis and even the Atari STE. And anyways, I knew about this and I wanted to cover it on my channel a while back, but I don't know the current status of this. It's another one on itch.io. You can download the demo and download it either for the Atari STE or the Genesis. I'm showing the Genesis version here, and wow, blown away. I mean, there's so many cool things that people are doing and porting games that never would have been thought of, you know, years ago. Now you have, you know, an iconic Neo Geo game for the Sega Genesis. I would have been ecstatic to play this back in the day. Just so awesome to see. It's well done too. You know, definitely, you know, it has some things that they had to cut, but wow, for a Sega Genesis console, oh my goodness, so great, so awesome to see this, and hopefully they can complete this and offer it, as I am interested. Have you ever dreamed of having a Smash Brothers Master System version? Well, look no further than Master System Brawl, and has a story mode. You can play a computer, you can play another opponent, and 14 different characters and stages. This is absolutely brilliant. And you know, Master System doesn't get enough aftermarket homebrew hacks, and so you know, it's really nice to see this, as I know there's a lot of Master System fans that watch my channel. You may not know about this. You can go over to itch.io and download it and check it out. I'm playing this on the Ouya like many other games I'm showing today, and fantastic. You know, definitely would be curious to see this or playing this at Expo, as it's kind of an oddity and it's nice to see. I wonder if there ever is going to be a physical release of this. I do not know that. I know some people were asking about it in the comments on the itch.io, but yes, fantastic, a must play. Now this next one's just a demo, not complete, but Street Fighter II Nostalgia Edition. Wow, it really shows the power of the NES. It's incomplete. There's some issues on the emulator I was using showing this character selection, but play wise it's good, and it's on NES, and it's like, oh my gosh, if this would have came out back in the day, holy cow. Well done. Has, you know, the moves, looks pretty good for emulator for sure. I mean, this is running on an 8-bit NES, and I was able to pull off moves. I'm terrible at this version of the game, but wanted to just show you great sound and great gameplay. Graphics are pretty good. You know, it plays a little slow, and this is definitely not like, you know, a one-to-one port, but wow, I know a lot of people are going to be impressed, especially knowing the limitations of the NES, and it has everything here, at least for this character. Anyways, check it out. Parasoft, the same company behind the Street Fighter II demo, did this, and they offer this on itch.io, couple bucks, and this is Berzerk, and for the NES, and it's a well done port, and this is unofficial, but man, this is pretty sweet seeing this. And there's even a 2-player mode, one of the best home versions of Berzerk. In fact, I was going to do a video showing all the different ports of Berzerk. I may do that in the future. It's just one of the many videos that I have on deck. Anyways, 2-player cooperative version of Berzerk. Holy cow! Berzerk being one of my favorite Atari 2600 games, and this plays and looks great. It's got the voice audio as well, and just so well done. Highly recommend checking this out, and you can go to itch.io to find it. This next one is just a demo on Game Boy Color, but it was made for Game Boy as well, and it's actually a demake of Axelay. And the fun thing about this one is it was inspired by another demake made for the NES. I think it's a separate company, but very cool just to download. And this is just to showcase what the Game Boy Color and Game Boy are capable of. You can play this on the Analog Pocket. This does work on actual hardware, and just so fantastic to see. You know, the future is wide open for Game Boy and Game Boy Color, as there's lots of great projects going on. And this just showcases the power of the handheld. Next up, the developer sent me a physical copy of 4-Spot, and this is kind of a puzzle box boy style game. And the contact is on Twitter, and they also have a Discord. You can go to their Twitter to find out their contact information. And this is available for sale as well on physical. Pretty sweet, successful Kickstarter, and wanted to show it. As you know, these types of puzzle games are popular. There's a lot of them being made. I myself am in puzzle mood to play games. You know, I helped with Second Dimension make a puzzle game for the Sega Genesis and porting it to several other platforms, Block'em Sock'em. And so happy to support these types of projects, especially ones that get complete as well as physical copies. I know there's a lot of collectors out there, so you can contact them on Twitter. Looks like the best way to get a hold of them. They're also on Discord, as mentioned earlier. Check it out. Next up, you have the Tower of Turmoil, and I just really enjoyed playing this platformer. And you know, this came out a couple years back, but you know, people may not know about it. And there's so many homebrew and aftermarket games being offered on itch.io. It's well worth going to check out. Whether you play an emulator, you play on an EverDrive, however you want to do it, play on your PC. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Kind of had like a Ninja Gaiden style intro, and fun little platformer. And you know, I didn't play it too much, but what I played so far, I enjoyed the gameplay mechanics. It had a fairly smooth gameplay, and wanted to check it out. You know, it had a kind of a cross between maybe a Zelda 2 and a Mega Man. You know, with that down thrust, that's a fun gameplay mechanic. And so yeah, I don't know how long this is, but you can check it out and you can download it on itch.io. And so fun little aftermarket game, and you know, definitely something. Maybe you're tired of going through the same games over and over. Next up is from Dale Coop, and this was with NES Maker, and this is a fun little kind of arcade style game. I really enjoyed this, and this is Underground Adventure for 1 or 2 players, another game that came out in 2019. And so kind of has that kind of little bit of a Micro Mages kind of like small character sprite, and I'm sure that's a save on space. And wow, I really enjoyed this one. A fun little game where you're going around collecting crystals, and you have to collect them all and then progress to the next stage. And so really well done. It really has that kind of addictive, let's try one more time to get through. You have some life, and you can get life every now and then on each stage, but really enjoyed, Dale, what you've done here. It's a fun little game. Never checked it out, and found another one I found on itch.io. This next one has been ported to several different classic computers and consoles, Black Sea Treasure Adventures. And I'm showing you the Game Gear one. It's also on Sega Master System, ZX Spectrum, a ton of other ports of this, even Game Boy Advance. And so just wanted to show kind of this fun little exploratory submarine game. And I think this would be a great way to play, especially in like a modified screen Game Gear. And really neat to see these projects, and props to them for porting it to several different platforms. That's always neat to see. So, of the games I showed today, what did you like? In the comments below, let me know, and there will be links to these games. A lot of them are on itch.io. There's a few on Twitter, and you can check them out, download them, and play them any way you wish. You can emulate them and much more. You can play them on the original hardware. So thank you so much. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. If you haven't already, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell as I'm uploading videos every week. Stay positive. This is the Immortal John Hancock, and you take care.